Okay, so I want to talk about why you should not quit your part time or full time W 2 job or career to pursue Etsy, to become a full time Etsy seller, to go full time, even if I don't care if you are making six figures on Etsy, I don't care. And I am a full-time medical coder slash registered health information technician. That is a W-2 career, a salaried career. I am also a Etsy seller. Now, I'm going to stop saying that I am a full-time Etsy seller because I don't want to confuse people. I don't want people to think that I quit my W-2 career. So from now on, I'm going to say that Etsy is a side hustle. I am not going to quit my W-2 career to work as a full-time Etsy seller. In my opinion, I just don't think that it's smart. And I'm going to explain why I feel like it's just not a smart move. It's not a smart financial move either. I don't care if you are making six figures on Etsy. The reason why you don't want to quit your part-time or full-time career or job to become a full-time Etsy seller is because you could make six figures on Etsy and then, the sales are not consistent. There are days where I get no sales on Etsy. Yes, Etsy is bringing me in a decent amount of money. I'm not going to share how much money I make on Etsy. I'm not going to share how much money I make as a RHIT and a medical coder for privacy reasons, but I'm not going to quit my full-time W-2 career to be a full-time Etsy seller. Yes, Etsy has the potential to make you a lot of money, but it's not going to be consistent. Whereas if you have a W-2 job or career, your income is going to be consistent as long as you are working 40 hours a week. You are guaranteed to get, let's say you're making $50,000 a year. If you work 40 hours a week, you are guaranteed to get $50,000 a year. Whereas if you are an Etsy seller, if you quit your job and become an Etsy seller, you have to rely on the Etsy algorithm you have to rely on not only the Etsy algorithm, you have to rely on customers to buy your products, your digital products or physical products. You have to pay for ads. I don't pay for Etsy ads. I just don't. I rely on organic traffic. I rely on my SEO to bring me traffic. And that's how I, do it. So, and that's just not Etsy is not a stable source of income is what I'm trying to say. And the reason why is because you have to put a lot of upfront work. You gotta optimize your listings, and even if you sell digital products, you have to put a lot of upfront work. You have to put a lot of work up front. You have to optimize your listing. You have to spend time making your digital products, and then they sell again and again and again and again. But Etsy, in my opinion, is not a stable source of income because there are days where I get no sales. There are days where I get, let's say, for example, yesterday I got 20 sales. Today, I could only get 5 sales. Is not consistent. It's not a consistent source of income. Whereas your part-time job, even if you are working a part-time W-2 job or career, it is stable in the sense that, let's say you are working part-time and you're only making $30,000 a year. As long as you are working part-time hours, going into work when and working your shifts, you are guaranteed, and you are doing what you're supposed to, you are guaranteed to get that $30,000 a year. Whereas Etsy, you can put in, it doesn't matter how much work you put in, you're not going to get the same amount of sales every day. You could get 50 sales yesterday, and today you don't get no sales. So don't quit your W-2 career or job, whether it's part-time and especially if it's full-time, for Etsy. You know, and also a resume tip: do not put your side hustle on your resume, on your professional resume, because employers will you don't want to put your side hustles or that you are an entrepreneur, small business owner on your resume, because they don't need to know that information, because they won't hire you because they're thinking, well, if their business blows up, they're going to quit. So that's why you don't want to put it on your resume. So let Etsy be a side hustle. If you are an Etsy seller, it should be a side hustle. It should not be something that you do full time, because it is not stable. You have to rely on the Etsy algorithm. And the Etsy algorithm, you know, I don't even get the same amount of views every day. Sometimes I get less views. Sometimes there's days where I get more views. There's days where I get less sales, no sales, more sales. It's up and down. It fluctuates. So, you know, and especially if you have children. I'm a single parent to twin 11-year-old daughters. So I have to have a stable source of income. And I'm so thankful that I have my RHIT certification. So do not quit your W-2 job to become a full-time Etsy seller, even if you are making like 6 figures on Etsy. You know, you can make 6 figures on Etsy for the full year, and then the next year you only make $20,000. It's not stable. And, you know, it's just not a smart financial move to quit your W-2 career to pursue Etsy full time. Yes, you can do Etsy. I am my own boss, but I'm also a salaried W-2 employee. I can do both. You know, you can do both. You can be an Etsy seller, and you can be a W-2 full-time, part-time W-2 salaried employee. Or if you don't make a salary, you know, you can be an Etsy seller and you can work part-time, full-time. You can do both. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next upload.